I'm Christine Olivieri, your Paleo Practitioner, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make cauliflower crust pizza. This is really great because I haven't had pizza in about 3 years. And if you go paleo, you probably won't have pizza for a long time also. So I recently made this and now I'm going to make it for you. So what you'll need is a nice big head of cauliflower. You'll need a piece of mozzarella cheese, an egg, a couple of fresh tomatoes. Now you can make it with a tomato sauce, but I'm going to make it with some very thinly sliced fresh tomatoes, and a little bit of goat cheese. Now the goat cheese I got basically to keep the dough a little bit more together. If you don't like goat cheese, I'd recommend that you probably use maybe a little bit of yogurt, or you could probably use maybe feta cheese. Maybe it's a little bit too salty, but I like the idea of the goat cheese. Okay, so let's get started. First thing you gotta do, you gotta put the hair up. Almost forgot. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the cauliflower. All right, so we're going to cut out the core of the cauliflower. I'll do it over here. And we're going to put it in a food processor, raw. And what we're going to actually do is we're going to pulse it until it's what they call cauliflower rice. Okay. Okay, so this is cauliflower rice, which is just very finely ground cauliflower. So once you ground all the cauliflower into cauliflower rice in your food processor, being careful to make sure that you only put small batches in so that it all gets ground nice and evenly. Once you have this all done, you're going to put it in a little bit of a frying pan at a high to medium heat, because now what we want to do is get some of the water out of it. So you want to cook this in a frying pan for about 5 to 7 minutes. So you're going to be sauteing this cauliflower rice in a little bit of water, maybe about half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of water for this large amount of cauliflower. And as you're doing this, you're breaking down the bonds of the vegetable, the cellulose, so that it's easier to squeeze the water out of it. Because you don't want to have a soggy crust. And since this is a vegetable and not a dry grain, we want to have nice crisp crust. So about 5 to 7 minutes of sauteing your cauliflower in a little bit of water. All right, so the cauliflower's been sauteing here in a little bit of water in this pan for about 6.5 minutes. So I'm going to turn it off and we're going to let it cool. So now that your cauliflower has cooled enough so that you can handle it, you're going to take it and you're going to spoon it into a napkin or a kitchen towel. Clean, please. This is Karen. She is a wonderful cook, and she's going to be assisting me today. Say hi, Karen.
Hello.
So what we're doing is we're putting it into a kitchen towel, clean kitchen towel so that we can squeeze out all the water, because we want our pizza crust to be really crispy. Okay, so Karen is going to take it over the sink, and you're going to see how much water comes out of the cauliflower. So you squeeze the cauliflower, maybe for about a minute, I would say, at least a minute, maybe even a minute and a half, because you want to really make sure you get as much water out of the cauliflower before you start mixing it with the egg and the cheese. Karen's got stronger arms than I do. Okay, so then we're going to put the cauliflower back into the bowl. And it's going to look very, very much like a dough. So we're going to mix this with an egg. And I'm choosing to use a little bit of goat cheese. Oh, I'm saying maybe a little bit less than 1/4 cup. And we're going to mix this together. I suppose if you didn't want to use goat cheese, you might be able to use cream cheese. I like the goat cheese because it lends a nice flavor. Now I have a pizza pan here. You can use a pizza stone or a regular pan, it doesn't matter. I like to line it with a little bit of parchment because I don't want my pizza crust to stick. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the dough and we're going to press it out. You want to press it out until it's about, a 1/4 inch thick maybe. Now you can do it thicker if you want, but your pizza crust will not be quite as crispy if you have it to be thicker. It'll probably be more like a deep dish pizza, but we want our crust to be nice and thin and crispy. Okay? Pizza crust. Okay, we're gonna put it in a 400-degree preheated oven. And we're going to set the timer for 40 minutes. Okay, so what we're going to do now is our pizza crust is just about ready to come out of the oven, nice and crispy. And what we're going to do is prepare our toppings. So we're going to use a little fresh tomato, sliced really, really thin. These slices are absolutely beautiful. I like to keep things fresh. You can use a tomato sauce if you'd like, but I like to keep it fresh with fresh tomato. Then we're going to slice up a little bit of fresh mozzarella and put that on top of the pizza. Now you can use any kind of meat that you'd like. If you'd like to use some soppressata, some pepperoni, or a little bit of meatballs or sausage, that's fine. Put on any kind of topping that you like. Treat this like a regular pizza. So we're going to have Karen, who's going to do the slicing of the toppings for us. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. That really is, Karen.
Yeah, it comes out perfect. All even.
Okay, so look at your pizza crust. Look at that. Is that looking beautiful? Okay, so we're gonna leave it in there for a couple of more minutes because I want it to get nice and crispy. All right, here is our pizza crust. How does that look? Doesn't that look great? Okay, so what you wanna do is you wanna make sure you lift your edges, but be really, really gentle. So we're just going to let this cool for a while because I don't want to ruin that. That came out just beautiful. So now we're going to slice up the tomatoes and the mozzarella. Okay, so this is...
Like half?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. All right. So, we've got this beautiful pizza crust, and we're just going to loosen it a little bit. Loosen it. Broke it, I broke it.
Or do you have a big like spatula?
I want to see if I could. There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Beautiful. Okay, that's what you want to do. All right, so Karen, would you be so kind as to dress our pizza? Ooh, be
Okay.
careful, that's a very hot pan.
Just gonna layer tomatoes.
Now I'm using, like I said, a large head of cauliflower to 2 medium-sized tomatoes, fresh tomatoes.
Too much or else it's gonna liquefy.
Okay,
All
all right. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. And you can go ahead and put the cheese on there. Now we're gonna bake this in the oven for about another 10 to 12 minutes.
I'm gonna do a little salt, pepper, oregano
Yeah.
like we did.
Yeah. Let's do that. All right, so we have a little bit of oregano, Himalayan pink salt, a little bit of pepper, nice and even, and oregano. That's pizza without oregano. Excellent. And in the oven it goes, 10 to 12 minutes at 450 degrees. So remember, you went from 400 to 450, 10 to 12 minutes. I'm going to set the timer, 12 minutes. Oh, this looks so wonderful. Look at that cauliflower crust pizza. Bon appetit.